Alrighty, welcome to episode 241 of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week. In what has rightly been lauded as a significant step, Tesla has begun testing unoccupied robotaxis on Austin's public roads. While it's not currently known when these cars will be used to carry fare-paying passengers, they're highly likely to start doing so in the very near future. And that was this week's news.
I think you're muted, Howard.
Man, thanks for
How
that.
many episodes?
241. Excellent. Just goes to show you need to keep practicing. So, once again, welcome to the program. As is customary, with actual audio words coming from my lips, if there is anyone who is new and is comfortable in doing so, please unmute like I should have and say hello.
Yeah, how you going, Harold? I'll take that.
Okay, Cameron.
Take that away from you, mate. Yeah, no, I'm new to the Zoom field of it all. So I
Yep.
had my phone logged in before, which is why there was two of me.
No, that's cool. Welcome, Cameron, and tell us about your car. Have you got one? Have you
Uh,
got a Tesla, or you're looking for
yeah,
one?
I got a Model Y Performance.
Mm.
I've done a few things, a few mods to it, very similar to what you've done. I've been a long time listener to your show, so I thought I'd jump on and say good day and just let you know that I've done similar mods.
Yeah, no worries. Excellent. Great to hear.
I've done
We can always get in.
122,000 in it.
Oh, fantastic. Is it a 2023 model?
Yep. I got it the
Yeah,
day Model Y released and I had to wait 9 months.
yeah, me too. We all did.
Yeah. Yeah,
Although,
it was a long wait.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And in fact, not wanting to brag, but I might as well just say it anyway. I got confirmation that the order. I don't know if you're aware, but and if you look on YouTube, you'll find the video of the actual day that Model Y was first. The order page opened, and we had a bit of a hack that guaranteed. So it, as it turns out, that all of us in the room on Zoom that was recorded to YouTube, we actually got into the order page before everyone else in Australia. And just happens I was just slightly quicker, so I got the first order, but had to wait 9 months.
Yeah,
But
right.
obviously, as others know, well, Pete couldn't help himself. I'm sure Pete ordered an ordinary Model Y as well on that day, and I took up an order from someone else who couldn't go through with it, and then we ended up doing that dual lap. But yeah, 9 months is a frustratingly long wait for something
Yeah.
that was orderable on day one, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, no, it all worked out for me. I was actually truck driving and my other half, she sent me the message and I actually had the link saved as a bookmark on my phone. Uh, I had like the tail end as Model
yes, oh, you just went,
2 Error
oh,
404, and it had
yep,
like a picture of the guy, Starman going to Mars
yes.
in the Roadster. And then when it dropped, I had the quick link straight to it so I could order. I don't know, I was probably in the top 1,000. I don't know. It was on day one,
Yeah,
anyways.
that's exactly what we did. I had two pages on during this live. Well, it wasn't really a live stream, but it was recorded live, and was alternating between just Tesla.com and well slash under au and en underscore au.
Forward slash Model Y.
And yeah, and then did the Model Y one, and that was always 404 404. And in the recording, it's all unscripted, and it was as I sort of we all predicted. You know, we'd all be euphoric at the actual page opening, and
Yep.
then we'd be giggling like little girls, and then we'd be dead quiet, seriously trying to hammer in our orders, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as it was like that yell of euphoria, then we all had said nothing, until one of us finally got the order in, and then we sort of kind of relaxed and
It
didn't
was all a
care.
big race
But
to see who got the first one.
yeah, but poor old Paul Viana, who is on my upper left hand corner of the screen. I don't know if it's for everyone else. He is so funny. I mean, at the time I didn't have time to feel sorry for him because I was just too busy trying to get my own stuff together.
Yeah.
But he couldn't see it because he had used just the Tesla.com link, which that hadn't opened yet. They'd opened the page, but not the link to the page on their main website. So I went up 2 minutes afterwards. Russell Bell, who did place an order as well, said, no, you got to manually put in the the ENAU, or just click on Model 3 and just change it to a Y on the order
Yeah.
page. But
So that was
anyway,
fun.
it we all got there in the end.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, welcome Cameron, and it's good to see you've put a few Ks on your awesome Model Y. Dare I say you might be looking at the new performance Juniper Model Y
Um,
with a little bit of interest.
yeah, I have had a look at it. I don't know if I'm gonna go with it though. I think I might stay with the original Model Y for now, especially if
Yep,
there's talk of the new FSD software coming out second quarter of next year.
won't make any
Maybe.
difference. No, no, sorry, did you say second quarter of next
Yeah,
year?
because
No, no
yeah,
chance. No, no,
2026.
no,
You
no
don't think
chance.
with the hardware
Oh,
3?
oh, sorry. Oh, yes. Apologies. Probably,
Let's hope.
probably.
Let's hope.
So I think what Tesla's going to do is they are, well, in Australia, we've only ever had version 13 point whatever it is, and we've only had one version so far. And it's been so long, like several months, that it's all but certain. In fact, it just doesn't make sense for Tesla to ship another hardware 4 version of FSD that's not version 14. And
That's
then
yeah.
hopefully, like the Americans, will get a few dot releases to patch up a few things. Because at the moment in our version 13, we've got a lot to patch because it's only about 90% there. But
I purchased the
what,
full FSD package on purchase,
yes,
so
yep.
I'm either A gonna hang out for the upgrade that comes, with Elon's word, or the light version that might come
Yes,
out.
so I think what's likely to happen is Australia and the US, we're on totally different. The the proper FSD is end to end trained, and it's
Yeah,
just end to end neural networks from literally photons in unprocessed. In fact, hardware 4 is a bit wasted because there is an image processing section that's they call it dark silicon that's not being used because Tesla's worked out it's actually better to not do that. Just send the raw data straight to the neural network and let it do all the working out, which is what it's been trained on subsequently or for a while. So the US and Australia are on two different training schemes altogether. The data is entirely, the video streams are entirely different in that there's left hand drive and right hand drive versions. And in Australia, a lot of it is actually simulated data or simulated footage because we just don't have, millions of cars in Australia to get the data,
absolutely.
to get the video. So
I have, yep.
I think that what's going to happen is Tesla should be able to come up with effectively a compression formula that can squeeze down a version 14 neural network architecture down to what'll fit into hardware 3. And that compression or whatever that technique is, that quantization as they call it, should probably work regardless of the model. So in other words, as long as you use the same software version but with different data and different settings, that should equally compress down to hardware 3 formulaically, which means that once the US solves FSD for hardware 3, sorry, once Tesla sells FSD for hardware 3 version 14 Lite in America, then they should be able to apply the same technique to the Australian version. So yeah, that might be it should be sometime next year. Tesla is definitely working very hard on it because financially they've got a big interest in it because there are a lot of potential subscriptions that will come about because of it. Plus, they also have a lot of liability as far as their book on their books. They're carrying a lot of people that have bought FSD for Hardware 3 cars who really want to use it properly. So they really want to just sort it out and move on. And that's a lot cheaper than replacing hardware, replacing computers.
I
But
definitely get a lot of data. I have a Unify network and I can
yep,
see all the outgoings and I seem to upload a lot. So I do
how much is a
about a
lot? Do
hundred
you?
or I only just checked the other night. I think there was like 12 gig or something.
Oh yeah, cool. Yep,
And it's periodically like it might take it once or twice a month sort of thing.
yep,
But I drive
yep.
anywhere from 180 to 220 kilometers a day. So
Yeah, very
I'm,
good. No, it's good. You're getting good data. So obviously they're using
yeah,
the Hardware 3 cars to collect video, and that's the strength of Tesla's system is they can actually tell their cars to look for certain interesting things. And I know a few years ago they were looking at all the different versions of stop signs that were covered by trees and branches and leaves and dirt and objects and whatever, and at different angles, whether it's a lollipop person holding one. So Tesla is very good at asking the fleet for certain edge cases or interesting things. So yeah, it's good to see that they're using the Hardware 3 cars. It's probably something that's going to happen. Failing that,
I
you
hope
can
so.
of course. Elon Musk has sort of implied, well, at least in Europe, he's implied, where he's stated, or he's agreed that in Europe, FSD transfers should be ongoing for the time being until they get proper FSD. Now, in Australia at the moment, Tesla Australia slash New Zealand are sort of, well, they've had FSD transfers since about July, I think, continually, or yeah, something like that. They kind of it was going to end in end of September, and then they rolled it over to the end of December.
It's funny you mentioned
Four
that.
people,
I had Tesla ring me twice to come in and
yes,
have a test drive, and I asked them both times about the transfer of the FSD, and they said as long as it can be fulfilled before January the 1st, and the
yes,
performance won't be out by then. So I had to just smile and say thank you for your offer, but if you can't transfer onto a performance, that's yeah, it makes it a bit hard.
yeah. So to that end, I would just watch their website or their emails probably because I think they'll send out emails to all owners,
It'll come out
particularly
again,
of
I think.
Hardware 3 cars, to say that they're sorry to Hardware 3 owners who have FSD. Hopefully, they'll send another email out saying, well, actually, we've decided to extend it to the next quarter. But who knows? It's not inside information. That's just, it's probably a 50-50 chance.
Fingers crossed.
And in my opinion, they should do that well, they should do it always, regardless, forever. But failing forever, they should certainly do it until anyone with a Hardware 3 car who's bought FSD can get proper FSD. And until that time happens, they should always offer a transfer because it gets them to buy a new car, which is
And
great for Tesla and the owner.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, at the moment it feels a lot like you were over in New Zealand just recently when you're driving and you actually can still look around everywhere and
Yes,
uh and just casually drive along and you don't have to pay attention as often as the hardware 4 cars at the moment. Well,
D-
I think they might have relaxed that a little bit just recently too with the
uh,
text drive. I don't know
not
about
not
Australia
in
though.
Australia yet. No, not in Australia yet. But that will come in the next 6 months once Tesla is confident that its system is really good. Then they'll relax the attention mode. You'll still be technically in control until legislation changes in Australia and they do that extra. March of Nines. But there will be a time when they will probably release the reliance on attention, because I'll know that they're good enough. Or it might be sporadic attention. If the situation gets a bit more complex looking, then it may give you a notification. Now you're in enhanced attention mode, or the car is, so you need to start paying attention. But we'll just have to see what happens. Now something, and sorry, John, I'm going to get to you in 2 seconds. Something I wanted to mention at the start of the program, but I've already rambled on for nearly 20 minutes, is there won't be an episode next week, which is Christmas Eve, mainly because a lot of people have got rally bashes on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but there will be a New Year's Eve special episode to round out the year before the one that Tesla breaks out in, which will be next year. So there'll be a special episode on the 31st, and we can also then celebrate what we think is going to be Tesla's year-ending share price, which, by the way, has hit an all-time high last night of 409.
489.
90.
Yeah, but actually touched it closed at $489.88,
Yeah.
but it actually hit $491.50 on the intraday. And at the moment, the pre-market is kind of balanced. So anyway, there was, now from memory, Nigel, a few years ago, we had a question posed, which, well, I think I posed a question actually. What do we all think the share price is going to be? I think this was in 2021. So we were asking, what will it be at the end of 2025, and what will it be at the end of the decade? And Nigel Farrier came out with I think it was $866. This is split adjusted, and Pete came out with about $1,600, and I think Russell came out with $1,000. Now, clearly, Nigel's going to win that argument for this year, because Tesla is not going to get to $666 or whatever it was that he predicted, but he's the one who was closest to the mark. Pete was just a little bit too optimistic for this year. So anyway, we'll find that out in a couple of weeks' time. So I decided to get that out there, that there won't be a Christmas Eve edition, but there will be a New Year's Eve edition. All right, John, you got your hand up.
The performance deliveries are starting Monday, and it was 19 days after I ordered it, I got a Guernsey.
Yes, well, I'm sure there should be a few people that really hate you right now, John. But congratulations for getting a cancelled order slotted in just in time, which is
lucky. Yeah.
Have you got FSD on your previous car?
No.
Ah, okay.
So I'll just wait until it's appropriate.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Well, you can rent it, so you can subscribe for $149. Yeah. Yep. Which, to be honest, I think people will be more reticent to rent it, to subscribe to it, than they would be to pay it outright, because humans are just they easily forget sunk costs, but they always remember the monthly ongoing cost, and they may think, well, I've only driven 100 or 200 Ks or 1,000 Ks this month. That's not really a lot. Is it worth $149 for 1,000 Ks? Whereas, if you just slap down your 10 grand and you stick it on your credit card the day you get your car, yes, it hurts, 45 days later, but after that, you're blissfully unaware and you've forgotten about it and you're on to the next thing. So, either way, your car will be able to do it properly
soon,
once it gets version 14.
Yeah. We'll see how that's traveling, and then I might press the go button.
Very good.
Nice.
What colour did you get in your awesome car?
Oh, the red one, because it goes faster,
Goes faster. Very good. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
my old one's my 23 model's red as well. So yeah,
very good. And
Hey,
it's, I
Harold.
was going to say it'd be a different red, but because it's coming from
it is.
Germany. But
It's a different red. Yeah.
it is very good. So someone called my name. I didn't see who.
Yeah, Harold, it's Mike.
Oh, yes, Mike.
I haven't been on this for quite a while. I've just ordered a new Tesla, just the base model in the grey with FSD. I got it transferred from my old
Oh, yes.
Model 3.
Very
My old
good.
Model 3, it just hit 5 years old, but it's only done 23,000. So it hasn't
That's
done
nothing.
many. Yeah.
Yep.
Got bugger all trade in off them
Yes,
for
of
it.
course. Yep.
It's a red one.
Yep.
But the FSD, I've taken it for a couple of test drives, and they've been really good. Harry in there has been really good with me. He's the store
Yep.
manager at Osborne Park.
Yes, he
And
is.
I was wondering, what do you and your other cohorts think of the FSD?
Oh, it's brilliant. Now, the thing is, like I said before, it's this. We've only had one version ever of real FSD, so it's just as good or bad as it was 5 months ago or whatever it is. Time flies. So, in my opinion, it's probably about that. Elon Musk talks about, or what a lot of Tesla engineers talk about, the march of nines. So you want to be 99.99%, perfect, or 99.999. You keep going, another order of magnitude to try and get rid of all of those edge cases and whatever. So just as a figure of merit, I think that the current version of FSD that we're driving around with in Australia at the moment is probably at the 90% level. It still does things like it can go through red lights in certain circumstances, particularly if there's an arrow, like a red arrow but green elsewhere. It can go on the wrong side of some roads, usually small, like narrow, windy roads. It goes on the wrong side of the road. That's not to say it's going to smash into a car, because obviously it's going to see a car coming the other way and it's just going to stop. Or, I mean, the thing is, I don't think none of us have really bothered. I mean, we could do this one day, is we need a couple of FSD Teslas, or actually just a couple of Teslas, and then one becomes the patsy for the other. And you got to try and get a repeatable thing where it does something wrong, and you have another car challenging it, but we're on the phone to each other, so we can go, don't worry, let's just see what happens. And what will probably happen is both cars will probably stop. So it does some technically dangerous things if you're not paying attention, which is why you need to pay attention.
Like
But
what?
like I said, going through a red light, or going onto the wrong side of a narrowish, bendy road on occasion, which is why you always have to pay attention. And the thing is, when it does this, you just grab onto the steering wheel and just hold it, and that's the end of that excursion. And it does things like it doesn't always indicate out of roundabouts or out of the same roundabout, whereas other times it does. And it does a lot of incorrect navigation maneuvers. So, it needs to be in the left-hand lane to get off an off-ramp, but it's decided to overtake someone who's slow in that left-hand lane, and it goes into the right-hand lane, and then it's got to do like this heroic maneuver of trying to cross, say, 2 or 3 lanes of traffic to make an exit. Now, of course, if it can't make it safely, it won't do it, and it means you'll end up going past the exit, and then the navigation will reroute you to whichever way you need to go. But that's not like a safety critical error. It's just an inconvenience, because the system is not yet perfect, and it's, as Elon Musk often says, as we see it today, it's the worst it will ever be. It will only get better. In fact, it'll get vastly better. And it's just that Tesla's been busy with doing version 14 in the States and their robotaxi rollout and all that sort of stuff, that they and they haven't got their new training computer up and running, which is Cortex 2, I think it is. So they're a bit restrained. They're a bit constrained on compute power to do new models. But in the coming months, what our cars that have FSD, the real FSD, have at the moment will be nothing compared to what we're going to get soon. So just be aware. Everyone knows autopilot has its foibles, and I mean some of those are pretty significant too. Phantom braking, swerving across curved, intersecting T intersection lines if you've got 2 lanes of traffic, blah blah, all the stuff that anyone that's used autopilot for a while knows what it can do. That's not ideal. FSD, like I said, has some of these things, but they will all get flushed out of the system fairly quickly, and we'll go from being 90% there to probably 95% to maybe each time. For a few versions, it'll dot releases, it'll be 1% better or 1 percentage point better, until you start getting 99%, then 99.9, etc. And really,
So
all it needs to do is,
how long should we wait to expect it to get to a safe margin?
well, it is actually, in fact, it's pretty clear that if you use the car, well, actually, you have to use it as intended, because if you look away for more than about 2.5 to 3 seconds, you'll get a very distinct warning to pay attention. So if you're in the car with FSD, proper FSD, hardware 4 car at the moment, and you are paying attention, and the car is driving itself with you supervising, I'm 100% confident that that system is already safer than the average driver. Because all you got to do as a driver, as the supervisor, is just look out from these edge cases of it might go through an occasional red light. Usually if you're turning left or right at an intersection and there are arrows and they're red and whatever. So you got to just pay a little bit of tiny attention to that. The gross stuff, like on a freeway, I've seen cars on the freeway come to a very quick stop, because you get that kind of shockwave going through during just before peak hour. And my car has got no issues with detecting the rate at which the car in front is braking, and it's not shy to put its brakes on appropriately. And if that means hard, that's what it does. It's not like it's going to sort of be meek and mild and go, oh no, I'm not sure what I'm doing, let's just see what happens, and then it kind of, slams into the back. It's very responsive. So as a system with the human in it and the car driving, it's already safer than just a human driving alone. And probably with the next 1 or 2 updates, it'll be vastly so, to the point where you could just close your eyes with sunnies on, and you'd be confident that it's going to get you there safely, safer than if you drove yourself. So look, you got to transfer to your car. So the good thing is you're going to get it anyway. Do enable it and do play with it. And yes, like I said, if you haven't got an update by the time you get your car, like I said, don't worry, because with the exception of going through a turning red light, there's really nothing that car's going to do that's really dangerous. And just give it a go. And like I said, you and the car as a system will be safer than you alone.
Okay.
Pete,
I have
you're
another quick question.
yes.
My garage door comes down. The car just fits into the garage, and I can walk behind it to the house to get in. But the garage door does, if I don't put the car back enough, it does come down and scrape the front of the car. And I don't know how many times I've got it fixed. And it used to be about...
Here's a tip. So there's a few tips. So do you reverse your car into the garage?
Yes.
Do you have brick pavers as the surface of your garage?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So do I. So what I do is I pick, I go as far back because I've got the same problem. My garage isn't very long, but I want to walk behind the car because that's actually the way I plug my car in to charge it. Because I park my car on the left-hand side of the garage if you're facing outwards, or the right-hand side if you're facing towards your
Yep.
house.
Same.
So all you need is have a fiducial. Like I have, I've actually got two different coloured pavers. There's like a line of soldier paving that's the border, and then there's standard. I don't know what you call the one where it goes that way and then that way and then that way. Oh,
Yep.
it's like a whatever. Anyway, it's a pattern. And what I know is I just when you reverse and you see the rear camera and you see your bumper, I just line up the first half brick after the soldier brick. So that's actually 1.5 bricks from the wall. Like once the line of the bumper lines up with 1.5 paver bricks from the wall, and I can't. That's where I see the last brick or whatever. That I see that line, then I stop, and that gives me, 1.5 foot of leg
Yep.
room, and on the front I've got a foot or whatever clearance. Now you could just use a bit of tape or a bit of masking tape or whatever, and you just manually get someone to help you to put the car to where you want it to be, and then you just have to look at what your camera sees and remember what it sees, and you just drive back blindly in that you're just looking at your camera. Another tip I mentioned many weeks ago was, and I've learnt this through my wife's experience, is when you're reversing into anything, when you look in your side mirror, whichever way it is, and you see, in a garage, it's all full of hazards because you've got your roller door or sectional door,
Yep.
whatever. So the entrance is smaller than the actual interior of the garage. So that's kind of the first thing that's going to either hit a wing mirror, or even worse, if you're turning your steering wheel, you may do what my wife did, which is just smear your front fender, because as your wheels are turning, if you're reversing, it's going to sweep outwards. So as long as you're reversing in a straight line, you can't hit anything. The only thing you can hit is something behind you. You can't hit anything to the sides as long as you're going straight. So once you've lined yourself up, go straight. And like I said, pick a fiducial that the bumper bar that the bumper bar lines up with in your rear view camera as you're reversing, and you can never go wrong. If you want a foolproof method for someone that's not used to that, you can just put like a tiny, simplest is a brick paver or a little curb thing or something.
I've got
Just
some
going backwards.
bollards that I put down,
Yeah.
but I was wondering if there's any electronic device that you could buy for the car that would do that.
Don't know. Look, the best electronic device is just your rear camera. I know people use tennis balls. They dangle tennis balls
Yeah.
on a string, and when it touches your windscreen, but of course that's only working if you're going forwards. It doesn't really work when you're going backwards. But just the trick of using your rear view camera and lining up the line of the bumper bar and see where, and that lines up with whatever marker you've put on the ground, on the floor, works really well.
Okay.
And
I'll
all you
try
want to
that.
do is make sure you're an inch or two away from the edge of your roller door. That's all you have to worry about. If you go a
Yeah.
little bit too much further back, it just means you can't walk behind there easily.
That's
But
right.
that's not tragic. What is tragic is if you're not far enough back and your roller door goes down. In fact, what I've found is your roller door goes down okay. It scratches the thing on the way down,
Yeah.
but then it's got this lip on the back. So when it comes up, it usually then just really like scratches the front, and
Yeah.
it just becomes upsetting.
Okay. Look, thank you.
No worries, mate. Pleasure. Norm, got your hand up.
You should.
Oh, Pete, go on, Pete.
Sorry, Harold. Just one more suggestion. You can also try at Bunnings to buy some wheel stoppers. They seem to work pretty well, and you can get different types. You can get one.
I've done that. I've done
Oh,
that,
okay.
and I've got them screwed into bolted into the pavers, but they're not right. When I hit them, I then go forward a little bit, and that's when I get too close to the roller door. So when
Right.
it comes down, it puts the scrape there, and it used to cost I don't know, $400 or $500 to get it fixed. But I've done it about 6 times in the 5 years I've had the car, and I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah. The other thing too, Mike, is you could just adjust those stoppers
That's what I'll do.
2 inches backwards.
That's what
Because
I'll
you're
do.
right, you kind of ride up and then you go a bit forward.
Yeah.
So you could just move them back an inch or two. But like I said, you could
Sorry
use
for
your camera.
boring everyone. Yeah.
No, it's a first world problem, but it really is. I mean, you don't want garages have only slowly increased in size according to vehicles, but they're nowhere near big enough. They should be a lot longer to be useful. But all right, Norm.
Just to mention about this problem with getting the car too far back or too far forward. When I had my older Model 3, which had hardware 3, and because I had paid for FSD, I had Summon. So I would park the car using Summon, and it would park it perfectly. I had 2 cars in the garage. It was very narrow, and it worked perfectly. But unfortunately, we don't have Summon yet, and I rely on my parking bay that I've painted, but that doesn't necessarily stop the car at the right position. It doesn't hit the wall, but it does go in too close sometimes and can't walk on the back of the car.
Yes. Yep. Like I said, my technique, if you're reversing, I just have a fiducial because I got pavers. It's very distinct. You got distinct markings because of the pattern of the pavers. But you could just put a line of masking tape or something just to get your eye in, and then you can make something a bit more robust.
Or Harold. Yes, Steve.
Yes, Steve.
I went low tech. I've got some 90 by 45 leftover pine, and that gives me a physical barrier for the wheels. So you just roll up, touch the wheels, stops you in the right spot every time.
And you fix that pine down into the
No, I've got some more leftover pine, which then holds it against the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So it can't roll, can't move.
Which then, if you walk around behind it, it's a trip hazard, and then you might hurt something.
I go nose in, and when I walk around the back to charge, I still have plenty of room to walk around, just without the tow bar on.
Yes, so and nose in, you can use a physical barrier or just a virtual one, such as like a tennis ball on a string or something like that, as another fiducial. Yeah. But yeah, pine, any lump or something works really well.
Hey, just on that Summon, I still have Summon on my app with my car. I'm able to like push it in and push it out.
Yes, because you got a hardware 3 car.
Yeah.
Cameron. So
unfortunately,
hardware 4 cars, no.
Right.
Nope. It's coming sometime.
There was someone for you.
Yeah.
Come back 1 year.
It will be summoned eventually. But yeah, unfortunately, hardware 4 cars don't have summon at the moment at all, of any kind. Not even basic summon, or even better, actually smart summon. But
interesting, because it's a handy feature, very handy.
Yeah, and I just don't know why we just don't have it yet. It's just maybe they're rewriting it or trying to do it using the neural networks as part of the FSD structure.
I was so disappointed when I got my Highland to find out that I'd lost summon, because like I practically used to use it every day, and I don't know why we don't have it. Even if they could just give us the front and back, forward and back, and not
exactly just the manual, that manual stuff. Yep.
Actually, they come to me. I used to use it, little bits and pieces, but forward and back, I used to use that daily in car parks. It's pretty annoying.
I recall someone in the States, they were able to pull up and then select it and then jump out of the car, and it would park in the spot that they were selected, but I never saw it come here. Did you ever see that, Harold?
No, not yet. So that's the thing. In the States, they've had many enhancements to either what you call modern FSD, and although I don't think they've got actually smart summon yet. So in the hardware 4 cars, or in any car in America. But yeah, unfortunately for us in Australia, we've lost just dumb summon for the time being in hardware 4 cars.
Was that related to the ultrasonic sensors?
That's my understanding from chatting to the guys at Aussie Park.
I can't remember if there are any non-ultrasonic sensor hardware 3 Model Ys, classic Model Ys. So I don't know whether the deletion of ultrasonics on the classic Model Y happened at the same time as the computer got upgraded to hardware 3.
Good question.
Don't know. Well, my Model Y has USS and also summon. So
yes,
hardware 3.
Hardware 3.
It's hardware 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Highland had their ultrasonics deleted, Model 3s, and they also had hardware 4. But there were Model Ys that had hardware 3 at the time that Highland was released, and hardware 4 got into Model Ys a couple of months later,
just before tax.
In fact, one of my sons' Model Y is a classic shape, but it has hardware 4 and no ultrasonics. But I don't know whether there was a hardware 3 overlap with no ultrasonics. There certainly was in other jurisdictions, and Australia lagged a little bit. So ultrasonics in Model Ys were deleted some months before the same thing happened in Australia. So yeah, I just don't remember. Unless anyone, or like they'd say on YouTube land, if anyone knows, just put it in the comments. If you know of an Australian hardware 3 Model Y without ultrasonics, and if it has or hasn't got summon. Mike.
Yes. The only reason hardware 3.
Yes.
Go, Mike. You're muted. You've just muted yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
no, sorry,
not
no,
that
Mike.
Mike, the other
I
Mike.
muted you because sorry. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike Browning. Sorry, I muted you because you're talking to someone else. Mike Z. Yeah. Now you're unmuted. Yeah, go, Mike Z.
Right. Sorry.
Go, Mike Perth background.
So
there we go.
Confused. What was I saying? Oh yes. So the only reason the hardware 3s have the summon is because it allows us to stick our tongues out at you hardware 4 owners with FSD.
Yeah, I've got a gesture I'd love to do, but this is a family rated show, so
yes. But actually,
we might leave that for the New Year's Eve special.
Yeah, that's it. But the reason I was just speaking to the other Mike then, perhaps relate my experience, which is different but similar, if that makes sense. So with my Model 3, it is literally the gap I have back to front is, what's that? Less than 10 centimeters, more like 5 or 6. So that issue of the garage door hitting is a big issue. But I can't even walk round the back of my car. I have to back it right up against effectively the wall. And to stop the scratching at the back, I put a piece of foam there, as in foam rubber. So I literally back mine in, obviously slowly. But I actually go round the non-driver side. So the left-hand side, similar to you, if I understood what you were saying, Harold, to get to the charger. It's a bit of a squeeze, because we've got 2 cars, but the other car goes in forward so that we can open the doors into the middle.
Yep.
So that's potentially because on my old car, it did exactly the same thing. Ripped the number plate off one day because it was like half a centimetre out or whatever. And as you said, Harold, it comes down sometimes and you might not even notice it's just touching, but on the way back, it's slightly different for whatever reason. Yeah. So I don't know whether that's an option. If you can get round your non-driver's side to where, and then the gap that you're squeezing through is always at the front near the door, but that's your bum up against it and you're squeezing your legs around there. If you back right against the hard surface at the back every time against some foam. So that's my way of sort of sorting that issue out, because I think we all have this issue, as you were saying. So just pass that on.
And that, for me personally, it's going to be an insurmountable issue with the Cybertruck because it's definitely longer than my garage.
Yes.
So
easy outside.
Yeah, there's going to be many Cybertrucks parked outside.
It's going to have to get a garage, Harold.
Well, I can't because I'm in a special zoned area that says that I have to have 5 meters of driveway clearance for visitors to park 2 cars. So my easy solution would have been just box out the roller door, say 0.5 meter. Just bring the whole thing forward 0.5 meter, and that'd be perfect. But that's not going to happen. So yeah, the Cybertruck, either I'll leave the roller door up, which I don't think my good wife is going to permit, or I leave the Cybertruck out the front. And well, whatever, it's tough enough. I don't think the rain would dare fall on it.
Your new unit?
Oh yes, I know that's fine. In the place I'm getting in a couple of years once they build it, it'll be okay. Yes, it'll be okay. Because there's no roller door, so it'll just poke out a little bit. Not much, Your Honour, probably. But I'll be parking it dead back against the wall. Actually, that's a great idea, Mike. So effectively a bit of foam, and you just kiss the wall against foam, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, you just need that 50 mil reasonably high density foam, but not too hard, because otherwise it then puts you 2 inches out off the wall. And you want to be as close to the wall as you can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just get that little. Yes, it's just a medium. It's just the appropriate material that just gives you that signal that you're there. And the good thing is you can effectively creep backwards. Just just with your foot feathering on the brake lightly, just giving it a little you're moving back at 0.5 km an hour or not even whatever it is. Less even than that. So you're just creeping backwards until you sort of feel that little mush or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, you just need something not to scratch your paint, basically.
Well, good thing a Cybertruck has no paint, so there you go.
Yeah,
so
still scratch it. Still scratch
you can. You can.
Scratch it.
You just get the angle grinder out.
You put on Scotch. You have a bit of Scotch Brite, so it's always that same sort of kiss mark.
So instead
self-cleaning.
Instead of your microfiber cloth, you'll have the Scotch Brite. Yeah. You just go, buffering it. Get the buffer out.
Exactly.
It's Mike again.
Yes, Mike.
What's the new Model 3 that I'm getting like in regards to one that's 4 years old?
Chalk and cheese. So are you getting...
what do you get? The rear wheel
when did you order it, Mike?
2 days ago, and I get it.
Is it the standard? Is it the standard range?
It's the standard range. I didn't want anything else.
Yep. So how old is your current car?
4 years.
Oh, okay. So it's a Model 3 as well.
Yes.
Okay. So the interior is slightly different. The dash is it's the Highland, so it's the new shape. So it's more efficient, firstly, so you'll get more range than your previous car. The interior has some nicer bits. Have you got a black interior or a white interior? Black and white.
Black.
Okay, that's cool. So I think the old Model 3s had a wood grain dash element. You know, that where the vents are. That's now been restyled to, I think it's a dark grey or something. It's like a felt kind of finish rather than a smooth,
Feels nice.
shiny. Oh, actually, the wood grain one wasn't so shiny, but it was kind of
No.
low sheen. But it's now a felt finish, which is a little bit. It's different, but it's nice. The screen, the touch screen has got a better resolution, and I think there's a smaller border between. It's the same physical size. The frame that it sits in, or the mount that it sits in, is the same size, but there's less black border of the actual screen, so that's incrementally better. I think it's more responsive, so it's a bit quicker. I think they've got refinements in the suspension, so it should be a smoother ride. And with Tesla, there's a lot of stuff that you can't really put your finger on, but there's all these little tiny incremental improvements that they make, which kind of adds up. But like I said, it's difficult to put a finger on. So you are definitely getting a better product. And one of the main things is you're going to get better efficiency, which is great if you're doing country trips or whatever. Don't know if the speakers are any better, but usually the younger a Tesla is, the more subtle features and benefits that it has.
Yeah, 4 years ago, it may have been a lead acid low volt battery too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. So now your so-called 12-volt battery, which is now actually 15.5-ish volts, it's a lithium-ion battery, which ought to last for the life of the car. So that's one maintenance item that you won't have to worry about. I'm not sure if anyone's got
battery changed. I just had the battery changed.
Okay, so that'll be the last time you'll ever have to do that, because in the Highland Model 3, the refresh Model 3, and all current model Teslas that you buy today, they have this, like I said, it's a lithium-ion battery that effectively has been scoped to last the life of the car.
Indefinite.
So it's effectively the life of the car.
And the other thing I was taken on was that they don't use Michelin tires anymore. They use some brand I've never heard of.
Oh, Hankook, perhaps?
No, different.
I'm not sure if it's Hankook or I know Hankook's fairly common. Yeah, Michelin. Look, Michelin used to be the best tires ever. My shock I got when I bought some Michelins for the hire car that I hired in New Zealand, because every tire was past its belts. The shock I got was that it had a traction rating of B instead of A, which I thought was just mind-numbing for a Michelin tire, especially since it was a Pilot Sport EV tire. But anyway, look, I'm not so concerned about tires. Teslas drive so well that you could probably have summer slicks on them and you'd barely notice, because the car just does its thing. So, I wouldn't get too hung up on tires, but definitely the car you're getting in the next week or so is, in ways that you either do see, which is good, and ways that you don't see, which is equally as important, is better than what you've had from 4 years ago. In fact, if you ask the service guys, they'll tell you, oh yeah, a lot of the parts are totally different. You'll probably have a quieter cabin, because I think the Model 3s these days would have the laminated glass windows. I hope that's right.
Every bit of glass is the dual layer, even the roof, the window,
perfect.
Everything.
Yeah, perfect. So that's the thing is, Mike, that's going to be a significant difference, is you'll noticeably have a quieter cabin, which is a lot more pleasant.
Also have the heated and cooling seats.
Yes.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay. Yes, I'll have automatic cooling seats. So on your aircon, you can set it. Yeah. Oh, yes. No, I had a Model X where it didn't really work because it sucked, as in it sucked the air away from you, whereas the cooling seats now blow air onto you. And I must admit, sometimes, even though it's fairly warm outside, I've had it on and thinking, oh, that makes me feel quite cold, which is doing exactly what it should. So, no, they do work really well, because they actually blow the cold air out of the holes of the seat material. So it's all perforated, and it works really, really well.
Well, thank you guys for helping me out today.
No worries,
I really
Mike.
appreciate it.
And enjoy. No doubt you're getting your car before New Year's Eve, so enjoy it. And you from 4 years ago, I'm not sure how you would have received your car, whether it was in Osborne Park or via a back of a flatbed truck. But
Osborne Park.
Osborne Park,
delivered
okay,
it.
but
yeah.
But the experience you'll get at O'Connor is really great.
Okay.
Oh, and you'll also get an EV sticker, EV
Yes.
warning triangle sticker
Yep.
on your car. And actually, I'll get to you in 2 seconds, Cameron. It's a sticker
No rush.
that looks like
Okay.
that. Now, Tokwa has decided it's not quite ready yet, so please don't go yet. But we are funding a number of these EV tags, warning, whatever you want to call them, and they will be available for free to any Tesla owner at the Osborne Park and O'Connor store. The proviso is it's only free to Tesla owners, not quite yet. So not Tokwa members per se, but obviously if anyone's watching this and they appreciate the fact that you can get a $10 sticker or warning tags for nothing, obviously more than welcome to join us in appreciation. But they'll be free to any Tesla that drives in. The proviso is you need to fit it while you're there, because to be brutally honest, we don't want someone saying, "Oh yeah, I know someone who's got a Polestar or some other non-Tesla, and we'd like to have a set for them as well, or my daughter, or my friend, or my wife, or whatever." It's just for Tesla owners. We, as a Tesla owners club, it's perfectly okay for us to say we're here to support Tesla. So they will be ready. They've been ordered, but they take about a week to arrive. So please don't come yet. Probably, if you want to find, if you're keen. So the state government has made it law to have these things fitted from the 1st of January 2026. However, they have also stated that this law will not be enforced until the 1st of January 2027. So let's call that in 12 months' time. People know my opinion of that sticker. I'm not opposed to it, as long as petrol cars have a red diamond flammable liquids warning on them, as they all should have. Failing
Agreed.
that, I will be placing my sticker just prior to me driving my car on or after the 1st of January 2027. And I will not be wearing that sticker a millisecond before then. That's just me personally raging against the machine. By the way, the fine as of the 1st of January 2027 for not having a warning label front and back on your number plate is $800. So I guess if one falls off and a camera catches it, depends how keen they are on these AI cameras or whatever. So like I said, Tokwa has funded an adequate number of these tags, and they will be available from Tesla stores, free to any Tesla that hasn't got them, in about a week or so's time. But we will let you know on X. And probably on the next program, which will be on New Year's Eve. And by the way, Tesla is open. Oh, yep.
Oh, I was just going to say, and note, if you're getting a new car, then Tesla's already going to fit it for you.
Yes.
And that won't be and they're already doing that now. So
and they're already doing that now. So
yeah.
Yeah, so Mike, your car you're collecting in
It'll
the
be
next
fine.
few days will already have it on. In fact, there are Teslas running around now that have them on
Yep.
because I think Tesla's been fitting them for the last few weeks or
Yep.
whatever, some period of time.
Is it retrospective to any age of EV?
Yep.
No. So any EV that's born, built, registered, probably registered, whatever, prior to 2019 is exempt.
Oh,
Wow.
I should have kept my old car.
So for those that got shitty Model X's and S's
Oh, good on
that
you.
are probably more dangerous on the roads, they're exempt and you don't have
Especially
to wear
when we're
anything.
driving them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You don't
What's
have to
the
wear
idea
anything.
of having them?
Oh, stupidity.
It is this stupid notion that firefighters, when there's an accident, need to be aware that this is a dangerous EV and need special precautions to put out that fire. Notwithstanding the fact that, and plug-in hybrids with, as Stephen Mark Ryan would say, vibrator-sized batteries, excuse my French, they get to wear it too. So when you see that Lexus ad from Toyota that says, for one of their crappy Lexus hybrids, plug-in hybrids, you use EV smoothness for picking up your kids from school or something else, but then you use hybrid whatever for going on country trips, and because it's a hybrid, so it's got a petrol engine in it, they get to wear EV badges as well. So your Camry hybrids, anything that's hybrid, it doesn't have to be plug-in hybrid.
Which will also help with Toyota's mission to end electric vehicles.
Yes, and to con people into believing
The water
that
engine.
the best of both worlds is an EV with an engine running on petrol or hydrogen even. Hey, why not? For longer range, because why wouldn't you want to have the best of both worlds? When, as we all know, it's actually the opposite.
What symbol do diesel vehicles? If it's a diesel tanker, nothing. Okay.
No. Sorry, a diesel tanker has the red diamond flammable liquids warning. Same as petrol.
Okay.
It's just that petrol has 3Y something as the number, the code, and diesel is a different code because there are different flash points.
Okay, but it's a red triangle, so yeah.
It's it's a red diamond.
Oh, diamond. Sorry.
So it's diamond shape. Yep. Hydrogen is a yellow pentagon, something like that. LPG used to be I can't remember. I've had a couple of LPG cars, but I can't quite remember what the thingy was. And like I said, I don't object to firemen or fire people or anyone else being fully aware of what they're looking at, but let's make it flat across the board. If it's got petrol, I want to know it's petrol. If it's got diesel, I want to know it's diesel. If it's got LPG, if it's got hydrogen, if it's got plutonium-238 or whatever, I don't care. Put a sticker on all of them.
It's a DeLorean.
It's got a miss for fusion.
Yeah. So a plug-in hybrid should have both. Then it should have a petrol warning label and an EV label.
Yes, except there are no petrol or diesel warning labels.
Indeed.
Because it's considered safe enough for a firefighter to try and extinguish a ruptured petrol tank on a petrol car whose flammable liquid is on fire and running down a hill, setting fire to multiple other petrol-powered vehicles. Because after all an EV can do if it's on fire is, yes, it can vigorously be hot and it be emitting, flames, but less than a metre away from itself, because that's all it can do. Whereas petrol can run downhill, or the vapours. Worse still, the petrol can run downhill, not yet caught on fire, in a confined space, form a stoichiometric mixture with the oxygen in the air, and detonate in a confined space. And if you want to look at stuff that does that, look up BLEVE, BLEVE, which is a boiling liquid evaporating vapor explosion.
We'll get to the resident chemical engineer now.
So
and the
BLEVE, yeah,
Yes.
Blevy, and they are spectacular, mind blowing. What
You
a
can't
petrol
get
tanker
that.
can
You can't
do.
get that in petrol cars.
No, you can't. No, but you can get it at petrol stations. There was one in Russia somewhere that the whole petrol station went up. I think the underground tank somehow did something, and it was pretty specky. You couldn't believe how big it was. And first thing you see is this white cloud. Oh, sorry. Okay, it's it's a different one.
Yeah.
But there was this
Still
like
a big bang.
instantaneous big white cloud,
Yeah.
and then the oxygen mixed with it, and then it was pretty specky. Anyway, so just digressing, that was a long way of saying TOCA will be having free ridiculous EV stickers for all Teslas that don't have one, available in the next week or so from Osborne Park and O'Connor Tesla stores. Totally free, but please feel free to get a membership or whatever, or just enjoy the free stickers so you can comply with the law.
Who do we write to, Harold, to get other petrol cars to have a little triangle? Is there someone we can, like a government MP, perhaps?
No, the regulation is this: that fireman will assume that if he doesn't have one, it's a petrol car or a diesel. That's the way they interpret it.
Who you can write to is someone who doesn't care at PO Box the government, because they're not going to care. We are tarred with the brush of being an exotic and new dangerous species. Probably the same as petrol cars were probably considered similar to those that used horses and carts. And in the end, the petrol cars won for 100 years. So,
you know what? In Australia, it was probably 100 years ago. This is probably the exact same thing, but for horse and carts and stuff in Australia.
Yeah. And there were farriers laughing at petrol cars.
That's so funny.
Are they stickers or it's riveted on?
No, it's actually a hybrid. So what it is what you'll get from TOCA/Tesla. So let me just spotlight myself. Sorry, I'll just okay. So what you'll actually get is a little drug bag that's like this little sachet, and I've just got to empty. Sorry about this. There's this one I've got from Queensland, and it's got a rivet which we don't get. Sticky's gone a bit crappy. So you get these two things once they focus. There we go. And then on the back there's a cover for a sticky back. So oops, gotta line them up. So what you do is you just peel it back and stick it on. Now in WA that's permitted. So in WA you are allowed. There's actually on the back that's sticky, and there is a hole for a rivet. And in fact, in this little kit, there's the said rivet. But it doesn't even
It's a
fit.
little hole looking at it.
It's a little hole, and actually the rivet's bigger than the hole. Anyway, so there is a hole. So there will be the ones we're buying, which are the same that Tesla buy. And there's no secret, Tesla buy them from the Department of Transport in New South Wales. So we've decided to buy this from the same place, or we buy them through Tesla, or we've paid for them via Tesla. So you just stick them on. WA, only has to be appropriately affixed to the number plate. On the Eastern Seaboard, in many or some or all of the Eastern Seaboard states, there's a separate requirement that they need to be riveted to the number plate. But in WA, you don't need to, and I wouldn't recommend it because, I mean, how many people, I think I did this last time, hands up who's got a rivet gun. I guess most of the idiots in this room have got rivet guns, but for normal people, most normal people don't have a rivet gun handy. And the thing too is, if you're using a polycarbonate plate, chances are you're going to crack it in the process of riveting it. Just stick them on. It's fine. And that's what Tesla does too, by the way. They just stick them on to the state plates.
Just be sure to use some alcohol wipes before you apply them. That'll make them sure that they stay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Just clean off your number plate when you stick it on. And for anyone with a state plate, we have got it somewhere. It has been shown up that the state government's got an image showing all the different locations where you've got to basically put your your triangle warning label. I spoke to someone at Tesla, and they actually spoke to the Department of Transport directly, and they are really just serving suggestions. The criteria that it needs to meet is it doesn't interfere with any of the markings on the plate, such as any of the alphanumeric numbers or marking, or the bit where it says Western Australia. You have actually got a fair bit of flexibility where you put it, as long as it doesn't cover anything up. But for the state plates, you just put it underneath the little the decimal point, for lack of a better term, which is actually like a flat diamond shape thingy. But yeah, just make sure you don't cover up any of the letters or numbers on any part of the plate.
Can I just continue on this before my question, Harold?
Yes.
So it was occurring to me, because my rear number plate on the 3, it's effectively hard up against the body. You know, there's a couple of screws at the top, but there's virtually no space behind it. So I was thinking, if you put a rivet into it, how do you have the bit of the rivet that sticks out the back?
That just slowly starts drilling into the back of your car as it rubs with a little bit of vibration into the aluminium.
Because it occurred to me when you were saying there was an $800 fine, that when one of them falls off at some point, it's a revenue raiser for the local team, right? So I'm thinking you do want to rivet them on, because then they won't fall off.
Or you could rivet it from the back to the front.
Yes, you could.
But yeah, you could do that too. But Mike, the adhesive is not too bad, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, if it's proper 3M stuff, it'll be fine.
Yes,
get some liquid nails, bang, done.
Because the Tesla badges and stuff don't fall off once they're on.
No, they're really hard to get off. They really are. So anyway, that's the bit of TOCWA thing that I guess for financial members, that's something we spend a little bit of money on, and as puerile as it is for us to have to wear these things, if we are going to be made to do so, then TOCWA is certainly happy to help out Tesla owners.
Thank you. Harold, in the chat, I'll put a link or an extract from the UK green Rego plates.
In the UK they have their plates are different, so there's actually a green stripe. I don't know whether that's not a warning. I don't know, that's a warning thing. I think that's got more to do with the what's the name in London? The congestion charge. Yeah. So that's not so much a punitive display of the opposite of virtual signaling. It's like dis-virtual signaling or I don't know what they're... Anyway, people that hate EVs are going to go, see, they got warning stickers, and that's because they're bad and whatever. But yeah, definitely in the UK, I think Europe does it too.
They do in Norway.
There is something in Europe they do, there's differentiation, but it's a positive differentiation as opposed to warning of impending doom for anyone that touches an EV.
Yeah, I guess my point really is that if it's important to identify an EV, you don't rely on something being added on, a stick-on or a rivet-on. You actually make it part of your number plate.
Yeah, the thing too is I think fireys are a bit more educated than most people would give them credit for. I believe these days they when they're on their way to a job, they actually get details of the vehicles that are already there because someone else has relayed that information, and they can actually look up the first responders' data sheets on their iPads and go through. Because the thing too is, I mean, EVs are uniquely safe in most standard collisions because as soon as airbags are deployed, I think this is universal. It certainly is in Teslas. There is a pyro fuse, which is a small explosive element that literally ruptures a bus bar internal to this fuse, which physically disconnects the high voltage battery to the rest of the body of the car, the rest of its wiring loom. So its high voltage is inside the battery compartment, and that's automatic. And in fact, if you buy a car that's a repairable write-off, the first thing you got to do is pay several $100s to Tesla to get the pyro fuse replaced, because otherwise you can't drive the car. There's no high voltage feed coming out of the battery pack. Sorry, I lost where that point was going.
The fireys know what they're doing. They got the iPad.
Oh yes, they know what they're doing. So the much more dangerous thing in the average car these days are all the airbags. Much more dangerous, because if you're cutting, which they have to cut roofs off and door pillars and all that sort of stuff, what you don't want is an accidental triggering of a curtain airbag, because that can cause broken bones and all sorts of injuries to either the victim in the car or the firey. So they have to be much more acutely aware of all the curtain airbags. And in fact, Teslas have an airbag in the driver's seat, which actually pops out to the left of the driver so that the heads of the driver and the passenger don't clash if there's a side impact. So, and then you've got your curtain airbags and your back ones and all that sort of stuff. They're much more dangerous than the high voltage DC that won't be coming out of the battery pack because it'll be disabled. And even if there wasn't an airbag deployment, you'll see on your model, or old Teslas, you'll see there's a fireman's cut loop. There's an orange tag, which on the Model Ys, I think it changes actually. It's either on the left or right-hand side. When you lift your bonnet, there's that trim panel, which on the old Model Ys is where you fill the wiper fluid. There's that whole panel that goes across. You can just pop it out. It's the little orange warning tag isn't always poking out like it should. So do have a look if you're curious. You'll find it. And that's actually a deliberate firefighter's cut loop, because firefighters like to cut things to make sure it's been done. And they just cut two pieces out of this sort of, it's got flexible conduit, black flexible conduit. You cut it. That then disables the high voltage pack. If you look closely, that actual cut loop has a plug that plugs into the wiring loom, so you can actually unplug it yourself. It doesn't do any damage. You just unplug it, and that will isolate the battery pack. It makes it takes the power from the contactors, turns off the power to the contactors in the battery pack. So that's another safe way of disabling the high voltage. But like I said, airbags and other things are much more pressing issues, and firefighters are very well aware of the vehicles they're dealing with, because that's their stock in trade. They make sure they're aware of all the features and other things, threats from the vehicles they're attending.
I think Cameron was first.
Go, Cameron.
Arthur can go if you like. Okay.
Yes.
I can either pick your brain, Harold, or I can show and tell something.
Go on. Well, you can do either. You can do both. You can show and pick.
All right. I want to pick your brain on the Cybertruck, because I also ordered one on day one.
That was 2 days before me, because I was there and a little bit hunged over, just quietly.
Were you actually at the event?
Yeah. So
you watched Elon throw the ball into the glass?
No, I watched Franz von Holzhausen throw the
Franz,
ball into the glass.
Correct. Yes, very good.
Yes, and then I watched Franz go. I watched Elon say, "Well, do it again." So Franz did, and then it broke it again. So that was cool too.
I think that was like the best thing that could have happened to him on that stage at that time. But anyway, that's
in hindsight,
a big, long
but not
story.
at the time. It sucked the air out of the whole room. Trust me.
Yeah.
And then I was that far. I was the last. I was with Robert Rosenblum, who was part of the Talking Tesla guys, the trio, and I got him as my +1, and we were the last in line to do a test drive. The car came back. The Cybertruck came back, and they said, "No, we're done." I was like, "Oh, we're last in line. We missed out." Anyway, so I ordered it on day 3. But you did day 1. And your question is, when do I think it's coming?
Efficiency. I'm not worried about it's coming. I think it'll come if it comes. But I want to talk to you about efficiency.
It's not.
And
it's
and
not
I want
efficient.
to talk to you about the charging.
Because
from what I can
sense?
see, it's only 11.5 kilowatt charging at the moment.
Yes.
I would hope they would do the next 22 kilowatt here, but
No. So in the States, it's only 11 kilowatts as well, I think.
Yeah.
Is S and
I
X
think
more than that
that's
in the States though?
So say again?
Is the S and the X, do they have 22 kilowatt charging?
No. So the old S's, the very old S's, had 22 kilowatt if you bought the second charger. The Model X's, including the one I bought, you bought it with 11 kilowatt charging, and then you could add 17 kilowatt charging, so that would charge at 24 amps 3-phase
in AC
or 3-phase AC. Yep. So that was 17 kilowatts, and that cost a couple of grand as an optional software switch.
Oh, okay, right.
I don't know that Model S's and X's. I think they've all reverted to 11 kilowatts in America, and it's all but certain they will be 11 kilowatts in Australia. That's AC charging. Now the Cybertruck has a battery capacity of about 134 kilowatt hours. So you just do your sums. Let's call it 12 hours to charge from flat to full overnight on AC, on 3-phase AC. If you've got single phase, it'll take 32 amps single phase.
I just did it on the kilometers that I run, and that's because I have a truck business and I prefer to be running a Cybertruck. But then I just crunched some numbers, and it looks like the efficiency is around the 400 kilowatt hour per watt hour per kilometer to 500 watt hours per kilometer. Whereas at the moment, my Model Y is anywhere between 180 to 200. And
it's going to cost you a fortune in electricity compared to your Model Y. So don't get it.
It's going to be about 60 to 65 kilowatts to do 150 Ks.
No, the range is about
per mile.
Yeah, that's probably right too. So you got to make sure you adjust. Actually, let's not.
I'm worried about you lapping Australia, to be honest.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Oh, don't you worry about me. Trust me. As soon as. Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, but I've done much worse. Okay.
I know.
Please don't feel sorry for me because I've done the caravan. And on my Model Y, I struggled to get 200 Ks range. Yeah. And that's a long range. Right. That was a performance. So no, don't worry about that. It's definitely much less efficient than a Model Y, but it's not a Model Y. It's much bigger and impressive and all that sort of stuff. I'll do a first lap in it as it is, stock, and then I might play with tyres.
The motor or the dual motor?
Oh, the Cyber Beast, of course, because you only live once. And if you're going to buy one of the most interesting cars in the world, you've got to get the best of it. Because in fact, the range has been reduced now, so now you can only get the dual motor or the tri-motor, you can't get the rear-wheel drive anymore. That's been cancelled before it even started in Australia. So
did you by any chance listen to Kyle O'Connor, and he talked about the axle tramp from the front because of the induction motor when it gets a little bit of jump?
Yeah, he said it's a bit crap. Yeah, that's right. So, and Tesla's been trying hard, and I think he said they thought they couldn't fix it, something like that.
That's because the motors are swapped around. Like the performance Model Y, it's in the back, but in this, it's in the front, so it's like pulling you, sort of.
So
thing.
in the tri-motor, but that was the tri-motor, wasn't that the issue?
Yeah,
or was it the tri-motor? The Beast. Yeah, tri-motor.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he recommended the dual motor because they swapped the engines around, so it's like the performance at the moment, and rather than it pulling you, it's like pushing you, and the more range.
So you're saying that on the tri-motor, the switch reluctance motor, there's two switch reluctance motors in the rear, and there's the one induction motor in the front. No, sorry. The two rear ones are induction.
Permanent magnet.
And the front is permanent magnet.
So therefore
the front is the one that has to always run, and that's got the juddering issues. Because permanent magnet.
No, the backs always run. Because at the moment our Model Ys always run from the front. Well, the performance.
No. They run from the back. So Model Ys have a switch reluctance permanent magnet motor in the rear that always runs. And the induction motor is in the front, and that only runs when you need the extra power. The beauty of an induction motor is you can freewheel it without loss. Well, sorry, without electrical loss, let's call it the permanent magnet motors do what's called notching. So because the magnets are permanent, and you've got in the stator, which is the bit that stays still, and the rotor has coils. Even though they're not energized, they're still coils, and they'll still interact with the permanent magnetic field. So even if there's no power on them, they will notch, and they'll absorb a little bit of energy because they'll get a current induced in them. I would have thought Tesla would have done something smart, like just introduce a tiny little bit of power, a forward motive power that kind of cancels that out. But generally, if you're freewheeling a hub, you'll do it with an induction motor. So I don't know which way the Cybertruck is, but whatever way, Kyle's saying the all-wheel drive is better because presumably the rear motor is the induction is the permanent magnet one, and the front is left idling. On the tri-motor, perhaps for whatever reason they had, possibly for the more power, they have the two rears are induction and the front is permanent magnet, and it's kind of pulling itself or whatever, and then you get that weird interaction. But I mean,
I hope
no car is perfect. Yeah, and if they and whatever, I'm going to buy it anyway. So it'll either be really awesome or awesomer. It'll be, whatever.
Anyway, it was just the efficiencies really that I wanted to pick your mind about. But
sorry, I meant to get onto that. So
I guess it's just the aerodynamics of it all, and
well, there is none. It's not aerodynamic. So I mean, it's the size of an F-150. So and it's got not efficient tires. So because it's got off-road-ish, four-wheel drive tires.
All terrain.
Yeah. So one thing I wouldn't mind trying is putting a set of road tires on it.
Right.
That are intended for tarmac, and see how that goes.
Would you go a slimmer profile, like narrow it down from I think they're a 285 standard.
I don't think the profile affects it too much. It's more to do with the tread. And also aero covers. So
yeah.
I can't even remember what. Oh yeah, Cybertruck does kind of have aero covers. They modified them because you know how they gouged into the sidewalls.
The Beast does. I'm pretty sure the dual motor didn't have the same tires as the Beast.
Yeah. So I mean, look, we'll get the specs once we get them. It'll be what it is, and you can firsthand that as soon as you start towing anything with it, it'll halve the range. But that's just physics. So
I did get I don't know if anyone else got berated with some sort of remake of the 2026 Cybertruck, but that could be just people talking as well.
Problem is, there's a lot of people on YouTube that. Oh, what was I saying? I think it was Herbert or someone else who's a YouTuber. He was talking about Jerry Rig Everything. I forget his name. Zach? Is it Zach? Whatever. Yep. Guy hates Tesla now, or basically has come to hate Tesla. And he's got millions of followers. The guy that deliberately broke the Cybertruck, his Cybertruck, by putting he couldn't just use a rear. He used a front end loader excavator to pull it down. But the thing was, that wasn't good enough. That wouldn't break the Cybertruck. He had to use another implement on the front of the Cybertruck to hold the front down, because once you applied more than X thousand pounds of force, or kilograms of force, or tons of force, the front would have simply just lifted up, and that would have been fine, and it's strong enough to do that. But so as to stop it from doing that, and to guarantee the result he wanted, he had to hold down the front to then snap the casting. But then, to his partial credit, he did do a rather, well, in his terms, a gushing video of how good Tesla's adhesive was, that they've actually got pre-made sections where you can basically glue end caps onto the casting. They sort of chip away at the casting to with the failure point. Then they add these cans and just glue them with this blue adhesive to the point where he had a bit of aluminium or steel, two round a rod cut in half, and he put the adhesive between and just set them together and lifted the entire Cybertruck with it over himself or over something. So he was sort of impressed. And I mean, look, if it was me as Tesla, I would have said, mate, we're not fixing it. You deliberately vandalized your car. We feel no obligation to fix something that you did that was outrageous. But anyway, so don't believe everything you see on YouTube or here, because there's a lot of people that think they know things. It's better. I think, Pete, you would say something. You've said things in the past like, you'd rather be approximately right than definitely wrong, something like that. So
exactly.
That's perfect. So I said it perfectly. But I preface it with I think. So yeah, a lot of people think things and say things and whatever. Yeah, maybe there'll be a revision of the Cybertruck. Maybe the Cybertruck would get cancelled. You know, just like, by the way, the F-150 Lightning has been cancelled by Ford.
Well, so good segue for you.
Yes.
With YouTube. Check your chat. I just sent you a little video that you can share with the group. I think everyone will be interested to see.
I don't see.
I sent it to you direct.
Yeah, I don't see. I should see all chats. Hang on a sec. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Yeah, got it now. Okay, let me just start this up. 2 seconds. I just got to turn sound off.
There's no sound, really.
What was that?
There's no real sound, anyways.
Yeah.
Just start it for everyone from the start. I don't know how whether you're going to broadcast it or.
Is this okay to show? It's all right.
Yeah.
This is just an interesting event.
Yeah. I'm happy for any questions or ask or anything because, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question in a sec. So let me just set this up. Sorry, I just got to get rid of this side panel. Rightio, let's go. No. Oh!
That's water. And that's about
water.
700 deep. Apparently someone did get swept away there once a few years back.
So where was this?
So this is Queensland Oakey behind the army base, and there was 120 mil the night before, and I was traveling to work at around 4 a.m. And, you know, as the performance gets up to 100 pretty much instantly, I was just cruising along, and it wasn't until I was on top of it that I realized what it was. And then at that point, if you watch it in slow-mo, I'm on the brakes, like right there, but then I'm off. I actually put my foot flat to the floor, which lifted the front of the Tesla. And about halfway through, if you watch it, it ended up like sort of, because it was sort of all happened so quick. So I was on the exit on the other side before it touched down to the bitumen again, but it felt like it was like a wakeboard sort of thing, like the arse of the car was about to wobble.
So
and then I just drove out the other side. So all it did was rip the plastics off underneath. I have plenty of photos I could show you, but I just got out. I ripped off the plastics that were around the arches.
Yes.
And I continued on to work. And then
So did the back, it's called a valance because I spent hundreds of dollars replacing it at Tesla, or paying Tesla to replace it. Did the back valance, which covers your suspension items, your rear suspension, that goes backwards towards the bottom lip of your plastic bumper bar, did that get pulled downwards to be like a balloon, fill up like a balloon?
No.
Or did you just lose your wheel arches? Wheel arch liners?
The front actual arches and the front under plastic fully ripped off, but it was on the road on the other side of the water. And the rear one, it also was smashed but didn't come off, and it was sort of flapping around underneath, which I ended up unbolting and taking off later.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just pulled the arches off basically and continued.
Did it fill your boot up with water?
Nope.
Because when I went through a flooded thing in near Fitzroy Crossing, my car actually stepped sideways. No, I went slowly, but then what happened was the actual river, the road was opened by main roads, but they didn't look at a washaway a floodway 40 k's down the road. They only looked at the bit near Fitzroy River, and so I didn't know about it. I looked at the depth indicator, and the depth indicator said 200 millimeters, and I went, yeah, that's all right. But what had happened was the stream had like a lump of water flowing across the center of it, which had lumped up to probably about half a meter. So when I went through, I suddenly lost traction and the car stepped to the right about half a meter, and I just panicked and just floored it. And then what happened is the back valance filled up with water, and sort of like it then basically scooped under the back bumper bar and then forced the water into my boot. I only found out about this when I arrived at Halls Creek, and I popped the boot. I thought I might have heard maybe my fridge making some funny noise or something. I got one of these 12/240 volt fridges, and it was in the under trunk, the under boot, the deep bit of the boot.
Yeah.
And it was, it had about 20 centimeters of water in it.
Still
and
in there.
all the, because it's sealed. So the fridge had gone into an error or whatever, because the 12 volts was shorting out everywhere and blah de blah. So I had to scoop the water out, and oh dear. But when I came out of this floodway, it had the side motion of the water had pulled off my. If you look at the side underneath your battery, there's like a black trim, plastic trim.
Yep.
It had pulled it out sideways. So yeah, I had a fair bit of trim damage.
I just sent you some photos. If
Power
you
of
want to have
water.
a flick into that chat again, that'll show you the damage of it basically. And then I also have the replacement panel there. I put all steel underbody armor since, or what do they call it? Like a alloy.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
My thing's not cooperating at the moment. So, sorry.
Right.
But yeah, water's very dangerous, and that's the worst thing at night, because it reflects the night, which is black. So it's sometimes hard to see, and by the time you see it, it's kind of too late.
That's what happened. Yeah. But I did try and square myself up to the middle.
Unfortunately,
like last minute thinking. Last second.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry, hang on. Zoom's. Ooh. I don't want to do that. Sorry, my Zoom's becoming a little bit. It's a little bit unstable, so I better not play with it too much. Otherwise, it might crash. But perhaps in a couple of weeks, if you're on, I'll try and make that work later. I probably won't be able to, but because I'm getting all sorts of weird error messages. Package failed updates, dependency or conflict valid. No, I don't want to do that. But yeah, water's dangerous. Yeah, definitely. Cool. But yeah, that's a good video. But yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah, that happened a fair while ago, actually. That was a year or so ago now.
Yeah. Just watch out for water, kids. It hits like a brick.
That's quite prompt, Harold, because that's what I was going to talk about and just pass on some experience. If you finish, Cameron, I'll butt in and continue on as a segue.
You're good, mate. Go for it.
Yeah, go on.
Cool. So most of you will know we had a couple of decent thundery claps this last few days. And I chewed a few electrons going around that day, which I don't normally do. So I saw the effect of definitely when you're traveling through deep water, how it chews the power a bit more. Because from basically Karen up to, where did we go? Just trying to think where we went to Bassendean pub. It was a thunderstorm all the way, from here along the Tonking Highway and whatever. And the water was, I don't know, probably in places it was deep in the middle of the road, if that makes sense, because it really hammered it down over there for a while. And so I slowed down, but the Tesla handled it like a champ. And I don't think I actually haven't looked, but I'm going to now whether I've got any missing stuff underneath. I didn't hit it at 60 or anything, this deep water. But I was going, 20 or 30 kilometers an hour through stuff that was probably a foot deep. And it just occurred to me, Teslas are not really affected by water. Like, say, my old Mazda 6 had a cold air intake behind the front bumper, so it did not like deep water at all. But Teslas can go through fairly deep water. The battery doesn't short out or anything, does it?
No. So it's actually quite okay with deep water.
Yeah.
In general.
You just have to go through slow.
Yes, and I can't find the video I've got, but the thing was, because mine was in the water, it's going slowly, when I accelerated, the water sort of just does what it does and just moves, and it just becomes like a parachute, and it's just so easy for those trims, because they are designed to come off relatively easily, because they're there to, they're aerodynamic trims, but then when you need to do a wheel alignment, they've got to pop them off. And of course, they don't always necessarily put them on exactly properly. And it just fills with water, and water has a lot of momentum. So, or what's the opposite of momentum when it's standing still? Inertia. So then you're suddenly accelerating it quickly and dragging through. Your car becomes like a boat. I dare say, Cameron, you probably got off a little bit more lightly, because even though you were going faster, it's kind of skipping across, whereas mine was kind of immersed, and then a little bit like, I've only ever done water skiing once, and when I fell off, I was determined to hold on to the rope, and I was under the water, and it nearly ripped my arms off, because the boat keeps going like a, what do you call it, immovable object, or just keeps on going, limitless force. And then of course my body was in the water, and it was just too much, resistance. Whereas you can just skip across the water, on top. So yeah, it's very strong. But no, there's nothing wrong, Mike/Arthur, with water in the car per se. That's not a big issue. Just don't soak your battery pack, because there are like breather holes, sort of, where after a long time, you can get issues if it's immersed, like, in a flood or something. But normal stuff is fine. In fact, the Cybertruck has a wade mode whereby one of these air suspension compressors, or the air suspension air compressor pressurizes or positively pressurizes the battery compartment so that it's kind of generally blowing bubbles to guarantee water doesn't get in for a while. All right. I'm a bit nervous because I can't see anyone moving. Oh, no. This could be a bit of an issue. Sorry for anyone watching. Got to see. If we're still on. Because I'm not even sure if this is recording anymore. There could be a bit of a problem. Otherwise, we might have to end the show here. Hey. Hello, Pete. All right, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to wrap up the show. I'm not even sure if this is recording. Hopefully it still is. Pete, I don't think I'm on, am I? Have you lost me? Yeah, right, cool. Okay, I'm going to have to end the show then because I'm still recording. So, all right, cool. Thanks, Pete. Something's wrong with my computer. All right, see ya. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's going to be a premature end to the show, and we'll only know in hindsight whether or not this was recorded. Customarily, I would ask Pete the best way to round out this show, especially one that's had a bit of a disaster like this, and he would always say, as always, stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve. But he can't do that right now. And I would, of course, answer, and the best way to do that is buy a Tesla, join TOCWA, and ask us anything about accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy and abundance. On this technical calamity note, really do hope you have a wonderful Christmas. We won't have a Christmas Eve episode, but definitely a New Year's Eve episode. So obviously stay safe for those 2 weeks. But I really do look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of TOCWA's Ask Us Anything. Good night, everyone.